Well, good afternoon, everybody. Gosh, block 6 already. Here we are. It's been a nice journey, a nice steady pace, I think, and just sort of chilled out. And doing one a week means that we could just relax, enjoy it for what it is. And I've mentioned actually in a post today, it just makes it a little bit more special because we're doing it just once a week, and it's building, isn't it? So thank you for joining me. And here we are. So today we're working on the set 2 minis. We've already worked through set 1. Last week we did the bee, which, one second, here he is. Look, here's our little bee. There he is. And today I thought we could work on the hummingbird, a really, really pretty one. And it's sort of starting to change shape of the frames as well. So we've got a nice little oval here. Just love this one. I actually have done a lot of these in papers and made them as cards and just done like black and white and a hint of colour. They're beautiful. So it's a first for me that we've done it on fabric, but I'm really looking forward to doing it. So are we ready? Let's have a look then. So it's the oval frame. Here we are. There it is. And again, this is the main sort of pattern here. And these are extra little bits or things you can do differently if you want to. You don't have to do the same as me at all. You could do your own thing as well if you want. Hello, everybody. Lovely to have you with me. Goodness me, it's been quite a weekend. I've done nothing but tangle and sew because, of course, I've got a few shows on Sewing Street and Hobby Maker on Tuesday. So a lot of prep going on for that. So all excited and, yeah, can't wait to see how it goes. So, okay, what do I have with me? I've got my regular fine liner pen, pair of scissors attacking me, and I've got a friction pen so I can do a little bit of the frame if I need it to. I'm going to start off, I think, first of all with the oval. Of course, we want to do the frame. So let's just sort of find the centre. And again, you see that I've got some interfacing on the back of my frame. And that's just because it's easier to draw on when it's got a little bit of something there. So I'm just doing this by eye. There we go. About there. And the friction pen I'm going to use in the middle because I might decide to not keep that. I can always come back in and draw that in later. And of course, if you want to draw it all in friction pen, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to go straight in with pen. But I've got my little fine liner. Here we go. And it's the 03. I'm going to draw, let's just hold on to that. Take a deep breath because, of course, once you put the fine liner on, it's not going anywhere. It's permanent. So anything that you move or you change now is going to stay. Okay, so far, look, I've got the inside bits in friction pen and the outside bits in fine liner. Alrighty, this one, I think actually sometimes people have said, oh, well, this takes ages to do and why do you have to draw around them? And you know what, I think it starts that sort of descent into relaxation. I think it's very, very repetitive and not tricky to do, so you don't have to think about it. And it's all about just chilling out and taking a breath as you do it. So it's not like it's a chore. This is a starting point of something. And I am actually drawing around the shapes this time. I think it's important that we do that. All right. See, taking my time. Now, of course, you don't want to be taking this off and trying to put it back on again because the size or the position isn't exactly the same all the way around, so you might not get it on the same way. So once you start this, you're in it for the long haul. You've got to go all the way around. There we go. Just taking your time. Because if you draw on the stencil, don't worry about it. It'll come off. It'll just rub off. Or you could ink through these as well. If you do your paper crafting, this will also go through a die cutting machine so you can emboss the little marks. Not cut, of course, but it will emboss. It gives you that shape if you want it to. Alrighty. There we go. So all those little, a bit of a Benji hair there. Oh, yeah, that's gone. Okay, so we'll start with the frame first. So if I go in a little bit bigger. Now, a really nice one, and we did this on the very first one. We did letter S's. We're going to do something similar here, but this time, if I actually just show you, you see, instead of it being round, you see it's sort of squarish. Yeah. So let's do that. And again, if you want to go this way, you can go that way. It's absolutely fine for you. Oh, Ruth, yes, they do, don't they? They are all fabulous. And do you know what I like? The fact that they're all different. So you've gone and done your own thing on it. And we've all drawn very similar things, but they're all different. And the colours, I know, Jane, you're using a purple colour, and Chris is using lime green. They're just beautiful. And I'm sure that even if you think, well, I won't make a quilt again, maybe you'll do a cushion, or pick your favourites, or do them all slightly differently. Speaking of slightly differently, these are, as you can see, but that's okay. I'm wanting just a little bit of a difference. And of course, when you get to the end of it, you'll not see it because they'll all be part of something bigger. I know, you know, sometimes using a friction pen, you can get like a ghosting effect almost. I know there's a lady posted about that, but don't worry about it. And if you find it's something you can't live with, there's always extra flourishes and things you can add around it. And of course you can stitch on them as well, so don't think you've got to stick with it, but live with it for a little bit and just see how you feel about it. Okay, into this next one, see? So just following my way around, doing this little shape. There we go, so that's all the way around. Very sort of almost Egyptian-ish, I suppose. So okay, let's do the same thing now. And again, it doesn't matter which way around you do it. You can do it this way or this way. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it that way. And I might as well do the inside as well. Okay, so we're getting a different shape than if we were doing it with curves. Now, if you want to go all the way around the outside first and then inside, you can do that. Really doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. It's amazing, isn't it, by just adding a little shape around a very simple square or a bubble or something. It makes all the difference. There we go. Okay, just keep it going. Yeah, it's nice to see, isn't it? It's a nice one to do this. I don't know if I have a favourite. I think once I just sit and draw it, I think, oh, I remember this one. Because sometimes I don't get to use them a lot. But I think, oh, this is my favourite. But then the next time I do one, that'll be my favourite. So you don't have to have one. I think they all work together quite nicely, and they've all got little stories to tell. They're just lovely. See, so now we're all a little bit more chilled out after doing those little marks first with the frame. It's not as stressful now because we've got a structure to work within. I'll do the same shape, just working it around, creating this little sort of shape. Here we are. So to the next one, and just keeping it going. No rush at all, this one. It's just a nice flowing little piece to do. It's just nice to let's see where it leads. Okay, last one, and then we'll have a little look at it, see what it's like all together. There we go, look at that. So you can almost already see that kind of three-dimensional effect going on. It's looking really good. So let's have a look at the instructions now, see where we're at. See, we've done this bit, in this bit. Now here it says actually fill in the blocks. I'm going to choose, do I want to or not? I don't know. I might leave that for a bit, but I'll see how I feel. And then this one, the block's been filled in, but it's been extended, you see. So if I was going to fill it in, that would cover up that line there. And then here we've got a series of lines. So let's have a look. I'm going to do the lines first and see sort of where that takes me. But again, it does suggest filling those in. I might leave it. I'm going to see how it goes. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead is every time I've got a line, you see like here, I'm going to put a line in. And then there. And then there. See, so I've actually got a line either side of those. So then looking at my space here, this one I can get 2 lines in. And this one, probably 1. So I've got a nice even selection there. So if I turn to the next one, same sort of thing. And again, see, I'm getting 2 in there. It depends on your shape that you've started with as to how it goes. Or you could actually come in and do all of those lines first and then sort of see where that takes you. And you notice that I'm moving my fabric as I go because I'm creating like a curve as I go round, sort of naturally forming. And just following. This is going to give me a little bit of a guide. So you can choose, you can do it this way and just do a little bit at a time. And then go back in and fill in. You can decide then if you want to leave it a little bit wider or add more stripes in. But it's quite nice, doesn't it? So again, just keep turning it, and what I'm actually doing is these lines are sort of almost vertical with my body, so it's sort of like that in a line. And then as I work my way around, I'm finding it easier to draw those lines in. And it's sort of doing the shape for me. Maybe I'll see. Okay. So I keep it going. So I've got that. So I am going to put these extra lines in. But if I look at my instructions, not necessarily here, see I've got a straight edge there. But if I look on the front quite closely, you see here I've got this little curve there. I think what I'm going to do, if I put that curve there and then put those lines in, I'm going to get a slightly different shape. So working from each sort of shape to shape, I can put, so it's almost counting 2 there, isn't it? I can put that in. You see, so I'm going from one to the other. Now it's a little bit trickier doing it with all the lines put in, which is, let's have a look at that. See, so I've got to think there to there, so that one to that one, and that one to that one. See, I think it was a little bit easier putting just these lines in first. See if they're all a bit different, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving it that curved edge. You see the difference there from it being slightly straight? So, I missed one. Let's I'll put those curves in first, then I'm going to come and put the lines in. Just that little change. Of course, because we've used the friction pen there, it means I can remove that line. We don't need it. And again, don't try and make them the same, you know, just sort of work your way around. There we go. So now see that, I've just got to come back in and just sort of extend those lines. It's a lot neat to put in lines in after the fact, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to start this side. Put that one in. And I'm still going to get, I might get more there. There you go. Fill it in as however many you feel that you can get in there. We're not counting and they don't have to be the same. We just want something that's a little bit even. See? There we are. And just sort of helps break it up a little bit with those extra lines in there. There we are. Just sort of works, doesn't it? Because we've got that bit of structure in, we can sort of curve our lines around the shape to suit. And that's a great way of doing that with any shape. So if you've got a curve and you want it to sort of work, it's turn your piece, work it round. There we go. So just add those little lines in, put that one in there, and then each space, just sort of split it into sections and work your way around. There we are. It's a pottery throwdown tonight, isn't it? It's getting there, close to the end now. Getting fewer and fewer each week. It's quite nice to watch actually, because my mum still lives near Burslem. My mum was brought up not far away from there. And, I actually did my time in a pottery. I think everybody does in Stoke-on-Trent, do they? Maybe. But, I did a couple of jobs on a pot bank, as we used to call them. I was a sponger fettler. Gosh, that was a long time ago now. John used to work for Portmeirion. Not that we met when he was working there. Oh, actually, he was working there, but I wasn't. I was actually teaching piano and keyboard, and he came round for a lesson. Oh, she there, yeah. It's yeah, fond memories. It's hard work, but it was fun. All right. So again, let's have a look at my picture. See, it's quite heavy there. It's got these little dots around. I'm going to leave those for later. And the heaviness, I'm going to leave it. I quite like this. I might come in and add a little bit of colour in there just to change it up a bit. But yeah, finishing off around this edge now. So what I'm going to do, let's go in a bit bigger. You see, I've got these little marks. I'm going to, now you choose whether you want it on the left or the right. I'm going to go with the right, and I'm going to draw a line in. Turn it round again and pull up and around. Pull up. You see, again, I'm turning my fabric, so as I work my way around, I'm actually getting a sort of movement or a curve that's working its way around the shape. There we are. Just a little bit at a time. There we go. You see how it just sort of works and goes around. Just keep turning and keep in with the line you've chosen. So if you've chosen to work on the right, stay on the right. If you're on the left, stay on the left. Let's have a look at that. Jane, no, it wasn't a finisher. Now I used to be the one that removed the seams from the edges of things and then sponged it so it looked like one solid whole piece. It's one of the jobs I did anyway. I know, that was the day. Gosh, that was hard work, that was. Anyway, so what do we have now? We've got our little hummingbird. You've got the outline and you've got little marks inside here. So it depends on what you prefer. If you want to sort of draw in this one or if you want to draw in this one. I think I'm going to go with this one to start with. And of course you can have it facing any way you like. Any way you like. Doesn't matter. And line it up. So I've still got my little line that I did with the friction pen. So I know where I'm going with this. Okay. And I'm going to keep this shape. So I'm going to come in and draw it with my fine liner. If you're not sure, you could always come in with your friction pen and draw it later. Okay, just take your time with it, and this will give you the outline that you need to create that bird. See, I'm not going to go round that. It's very fine there, so I'm going to come round and to it. Okay. There we go. All right, so there's my bird. So, working with this one here, I honestly don't know if I'm going to get my friction pen into those lines. Let's have a go. Yeah, just about. I'm just going to give us a hand there as to what we're doing. There you go, I've got a little bit. See? Quite fine, but we've got it, so that's fine. So, looking at the instructions again, here we are. Everything that we've done on the hummingbird is inside. This is the inside of the oval frame, and we're going to do those little bits later. But this is everything, look, bird's body, the outside of the bird, for the wings. So all this is covered in with that there, but we've got to use those lines to help us split these little bits up. So let's come on in then and start with this. So looking at it again, here we are. Look, you see we've got the shape here with the bird's body, and then you've got these tail feathers and you've got the wings split. So let's make a start then. Bird's body. So you see here we've got this little line. There we go. Now if we draw it in friction pen first, just in case. So let's go from the head, follow the line, and come to there. So we've got a bit of a curve, you see. And then this one here, you can do it straight or you can curve it. See, so you've got your wings there. And then this bit here, we can join across there. And then these ones, if we follow the line, see, it gives us some little stripes. There we go. So we've got a bit of a, we've broken it up a little bit. That's the main thing. Okay. So coming in with the fine liner, I think we'll start with the main body. I'm not looking at it as trying to create an eye or anything like that. It's going to be a bit of a grid on here, bit of a curve. So here we go. All right, so you see, we're going to follow that through, and create curves. And then the other way, this way. So again, find a line that you're comfortable with to start with. And then you can draw these curves in. There we go, all the way down to the bottom there. Okay, so let's go a bit bigger. So looking at each one of these now, let's take this one because it's like a full shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I want to have a bit of a square shape there, but I'm not going to draw that bit in first. Just doing it so you can see it. And we're going to draw a line like that, like a letter L. And then another. And then if I can get one in, another. And then I'm going to fill in that little box at the top there. So here, similar thing, look, lines. You see now why I didn't put that square until the end, because we don't really know how big it's going to be. This bit here. And along there. So I'll get another one in, and then a little one there that we're going to fill in. So this bit, we're only going to see sort of that edge of it. You see how that pattern forms? And if I look at this bit here, same there, look. Let's take it in there. So, working my way down, I'm going to do the same design in every single one of these boxes. You see mine are getting they're more like rectangles than squares, but that's okay. Everybody's going to be a little bit different here. Fill that bit in. And along we go. Putting those bits in. And then this one. So you can do it a line at a time. You can do it a row at a time. Whatever works for you. Okay, so here we've got this sort of shape, haven't we? We want to keep it level, but you can do a bit of a wobbly line there just to sort of make it look more like it's going from one to the other. There it is. And then little bits there. You see much of that one. There it is. Okay. So on to the next bit. We can just sort of keep going with this. It's tempting, I think, sometimes to think, right, I'm going to do all of them in one row all at the same time. So the first line and then go into the next box and do the first line and that. But do you know what? Actually, in the long run, you're probably easier doing it this way. Just take your time with it. It's not about rushing. It's about, you know, you enjoying creating it and just spending a little bit of time to yourself. Just working your way around it. There we go. So you're not going to see much there. I'm going to pull that bit. Okay, let's have a little look at that. There it is, look at that. Imagine once that's shaded underneath all of these here, it's going to look fabulous. So, next little bit then. I'm going to draw my wing shapes in. So there it is. Okay, and then I've got a little bit of I've put a little bit of a line in there because it feels like it needs it. Yours might not, yours might be a bit different. And then let's go from about here. I'm going to split this into two. And same here. So I'm following that line and splitting that into two as well. So I've got my sections. Okay. So let's put in some zigzags. Now here it sort of feels natural that that one is already going that way. So let's work my way down and around until I can't go any further. And then same with this one. Now, it depends what you want to do. You don't have to match them up. You can have them slightly off. But you can have them matching if you want to. It really doesn't matter. I think decisions to make. I'm going to have it sort of off. So on purpose, they're going to not match. But if you want them to, that's fine. Okay. And then the same here. Sort of come my way around. Now see, this is going underneath that wing. So it's going to go underneath, you see? So you're not going to see the tips of those triangles. And same in this one. And again, on purpose, I'm not matching them. Okay. So next little bit then. I'm going to choose one side. It doesn't matter which. Let's have a look. Here we go. I'm going to go with the outer ones because that's what it's done on the instructions there. And I'm going to fill it with lines. You see, I've used that line there to help give me an angle. And that one there. And that one there. And then the same with the next one. So I'm going to use that as a guide there to help me put those lines in. You see, so I'm always using the triangle as the guide. I see here at the bottom it just sort of looks a little bit like it's not going anywhere. I can just extend that a little bit. I'm not going to fill it completely, just so it looks like there's something in there. It doesn't just start and end, does it? But we're just sort of giving it a hint that it's a bird. We're not actually trying to physically draw a bird. That would be a whole different lesson. This is just a design. There we go. And then see again here, I can just bring those out a little bit. Just so something's been put in those spaces. Let's have a look at that. You see, there's our wings, there's our bird. See this bit here, I'm just going to make that a little heavier, just so it sort of sits in there. There you go. Alright. So, looking at our little shapes in the middle, I'm just going to add a little bit of thickness there too, you know, in between those. Let's have a look at this one here. I'm going to just do something slightly different, just in the sense that I'm going to add a little double line quite close together, so we can separate these little tail feathers. You see, just follow it down. just by having those little lines in, it's just giving you the curves that you need, just to give you a hand there. And then back in, I'm going to do the same pattern that I did on the wings. And again, I'm not trying to match them at all. So you can see where you go with this. Okay. So I know they've got a bit of a shape there, but again, doesn't matter. Just going to bring it in a bit at a time. Okay. So back in with pen again. And let's just put some lines back in onto these top shapes there. And just sort of fill it in. There we are. Just sort of tiny ones at the top there. Well, it's okay, we're still going to put those lines in. And the last one here. There we go. Alright, let's have a little look at this. There he is. Okay, so of course the red lines will disappear once we've got an iron out on it. So let's have a look now at the little bits around the edges. We've got to have a little bit of a flourishy kind of things going on. So let's go straight in with that. I'm going to start under the wings and sort of around this area. It just sort of feels right. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a curve and then come back on ourselves. And again, if you feel that you need to use the friction pen to start with this, then go ahead and do that. Okay, you see the curve? And what I'm going to do, and again, this is something you need to be careful of, because using these, what people sometimes do is rather than go from the point, they go from about here and draw that and end up with something a bit thicker, which we don't want. We want to go from the point back round and down to the same sort of place we started, you see? So if I do another one going all the way, so if you go all the way around, stop there, you see I've come all the way around, I'm almost back onto the next swirl, and then back in, back to the point, you see? So let's have a look at that. Okay. So let's put a little one in there. Now you can do it all as one thing if you're happy doing that, but I find that if you need a little bit of confidence, just do that bit first and then do that bit. See? That bit and then that bit. Another one coming out there. I'm not going to overdo that. I think that's probably enough. And in there. Okay. Oh, Sue, I know what you mean. I think it's one of those things, isn't it? You love them or hate them till you can do them. And then you want to do nothing but these. They're really nice to draw. And I'm not going to go too far around here. I think actually I'm not going to do any more around there. Let's have a look. See, the instructions look show just down that bottom edge and around some of those wings. So nice bit to do once you've done that is to come in and add some little bubbles in there. There we go. So I mean, not loads and loads, but see how they sort of start to wander off doing their own little thing. Work our way around. And of course you could add lots of different things in here. You don't have to do this. You can choose to leave it and just have the bird without anything. I just think it's kind of nice just to have those little bits, isn't it, around. So okay, we've got these little shapes now, or these little flourishes around the edge I'd like to come in and do. And let's just move out a touch, because what I'm going to start with, you see where I've got this little line, always back to these dots, isn't it? Choose a line, just put one in, turn it round, put one in, turn it, put one in. Okay. So you can use the little curves which are close by, you can use the lines. You just want to get in just a little line. I'm not getting too big. See, it's working my way around. Same process as before, always working around vertical lines facing me. It's amazing, isn't it, how much detail you can get in here in a short time and how it sort of works. See? So then I've got a bit bigger now. Okay. And if I put a little line either side and then little dots. Little lines either side and little dots. So I'm sort of drawing a little V shape. You know what, if they're not the same size, doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. You can make one bigger if you want to. Oh, that one nearly is a dot there. And then straight in there. And again. And again. So each time, little V and little dots on. That one was a bit short. Little V, little dots. And again, you can choose to do something different with this. You can leave it completely if you don't want to do it. You know, if you like, say you like the bee, but you didn't want to do it in the hexagon frame, you could swap this out and put a bee in the middle. Or the dragonfly would look quite nice in this. So you can switch things in and out, change them about. I think these are probably some of the most versatile stencils I did. There's so many things you can do with them, and they're really, really educational. I know you've got to follow the pictures, and sometimes you've got to think a little bit with these, but the results are just superb. Hi, Chris. Oh, your hummingbird's going to look amazing, isn't it, in lime green? It's really nice. I'm glad I chose this colour, I quite like it. There we are, let's have a little look at this. Okay, look at that. So there we go, all done and drawn. And all that's left to do now is a little bit of colour. So what I'll do, I'm going to show you where I'd put some colour myself, and then I'm going to leave you to it and let you do your thing. So back to my Inktense colours, and going to sort of stick with the same colours I have been using, which is reds and oranges with a hint of blue. And let's have a look. Okay, red. Leslie's put them all back in really tidy for me. She borrowed them the other day, so they're all in order. There we go. Oh, Chris, I know with yours, I'd go probably blues with yours, blues and purples. What's your choice, of course. So here we go. What I would do with these is I'd go in dark on one side. There we go. You see, dark on one side. Okay. And then I'd come in with my slightly brighter red. Just a little bit. Then my orange. To about 3/4. Okay, so see I'm getting a bit of a stripe there, but once I add a bit of water to it, it'll disappear. And then my white, I'm going to add some just on the very edge there. There we go. You see? I'd come back after and I could add a touch of dark blue there if I feel I need it. but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. And same at the top here. Now, I'm going to sort of follow the same design, dark on one side. I know, Chris, but you know, sometimes just go for it and just pick a colour out and don't even think about it. Okay, they're all colours, they go together. There we go. And again, I'm going to put that white at the end. Then bring in my blue. If you're thinking, why blue? Well, I've got some blue fabric that's going in, so it's a bit of a mixture with my orange. So it's always nice to add a little bit to it. You see, I'd work my way around there with the blue. And then again, choosing the colours, I'm going to go with this dark red. And again, I'm going to add in across those lines that I drew. Remember that very first grid line? Same that way. I'm not going to overcomplicate this. Just going to have some in there. And then on this top one, now you can choose which triangles you use. You can go over the lines that you've done, or you can go in the plain ones. I think I'm going to go plain ones. I'm going to add a bit of red in the top sections there. So same in that one, look. There we go. And then I'm going to do orange in the bottom ones, just to give it a little bit of a difference in colour. Like so. See, I'd do the same here. Oh, I wonder if I do have a bit of water on my desk. 1 second, I'll get a brush. There we go. So remember, with water with these, look, I've hardly got any water in there. You see, just got a bit there. So you could wet the whole thing. You see how wet it is? Don't want that. Don't want that. We want it a lot drier than that. It's drying your skin. That's not bad. You see, it's not running. It's wet, but it's not running. So let's go in and work on these. So I'm going to work and just sort of take the darker colour into the lighter and pull it out in and towards that white. See, you could always add more water. Taking it away is the hardest bit. Okay, there we go. See the difference between one and the other? Let's go in and pull that better. There we go. Same again, dry your brush off, then into the dark. I'm going to pull it out towards that white. Now if you feel it's a little bit too dry, then you can go back in, add a bit more water, but only very gradually. Okay, we don't want it soaking wet. You want a nice even coverage, and you don't want it to bleed everywhere. And of course, if you're using the gel, then I'd love to hear about how you're getting on with it, if you're finding it okay. See there, just sort of into the points and along. There we go. So you see the difference there. And the nice thing as well is you can go in with your paint and your pencils and your water, and my black fine liner isn't moving. That's staying there too. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. So that's how I'd work with all of the different ones. You see it's got this nice light sort of a shadow effect. And then the blue, I would work in much the same way. So I'm just being careful now that I have actually gone in the lines, because I don't want the two to touch. And just sort of finish it off that way. Of course, I've got to do the rest of it yet, but I just wanted you to see how I'd do it. Okay. Now, of course, I could always go back in and I could use the fine liner and fill in those little shapes with black ink if I wanted to. But you know what? I think I'm probably going to leave it. Okay, that's how I would do it. So I'm not going to sort of sit here now for another hour and show you how to sort of colour. I think you've got the idea of it now. We've gone in detail in a few of them. So there is your hummingbird done and sorted. I need to get this finished. I'll try and get it finished for Sewing Street. If not, it'll be definitely for next week. But I'm going to be taking it with me and showing it again. Of course, what else do I have? Gosh, taking the travel bag back. I'm taking the original bag back. There's a new book to do some stitching. So quite a few bits and pieces going on. So yeah, if you're up for it, I'll see you there. If not, and you will papercraft, I'll see you on Hobby Maker in the afternoon. I'm actually doing as well, I've got 2 shows in the afternoon, but I'm also going to be doing the very first extra show, which is the 6 o'clock one on Tuesday. So goodness me, busy day. So anyway, have fun with this, everybody. Enjoy it, and let me know how you get on. Post your pictures, and I will see you all here again for number 7, which I'll probably do the... Ooh, let's do the fan. We'll do the fan next week. Next week at 3 o'clock. So have fun until then. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. And I'll see you soon. All right. Bye.